Okay, sorry.
So today's webinar focused on smart factory upgrades, practical applications of robotic and collaborative IoT solutions. So this is going to be our topics. I am your host. My name is Steffi, the General Secretary of WAIA, and I'd like to thank the preparation team of Robert's Committee of WAIA and the EPIA e-Paper Industry Alliance for co-organizing the webinar little event. So let me introduce our key speakers today. So today we are honored to have 6 experts from the AIoT industry and academia. The first Yin Dai, the regional head of South China at Autumn Robert. He will share building a data-centric AIoT ecosystem for smart factory as the topic. And the second one is Jeremy Ferret from Canada. So thanks for your late time joining us. We are happy to have in your session. So Jeremy is the CEO of Minds in a Box. He will share a topic on combining hybrid computing and edge AI to leverage deep data. The third one is Mr. Sina Perumo, the head of Department of Computer Science at University Pura Malaysia, and he is also the member of Technical Committee on AIoT and Digital Twin at the Department of Standard Malaysia. He will discuss AIoT in Asia moving towards with sustainable solutions. And also John Tay, Mr. Zheng, the founder and the president of Changemaker Association of Malaysia. He's the chief strategy officer also on Malaysia IoT Association. So he will talk about advancing Malaysia's smart factory robots and collaborative AIoT solutions. And also Sally Yu, the international business manager at Hangzhou Linked Visu, presenting paperless factory solution. Michael Liu, marketing director at Yunhai Motion, on improving motor control accuracy with embodied intelligence as his topic. And so yes, 6 of the industry experts giving us the very insightful presentation today. So now let's begin with the first presentation from Ying Dai, the regional head of South China at Autumn Roberts, on building a data-centric AIoT ecosystem for smart factory. I hope Ying you are here. 戴总在吗？No。瑜伽，你问一下，看看戴总有没有上线。如果没有的话，我们请那个我们其他嘉宾先讲喽。So okay, I will recommend Jeremy, since you have a very late time zone at your city. Can we hopefully invite you to start giving your topic, combining Hebrew?
That's what I discussed with you, is that I would appreciate if I could be further in the presentation
later,
just because of the time. Yes, you told me fifths, but if it's a little bit earlier, no problem. Not first, please.
Which let's say, which session would you prefer? You want to be the first or you want to be the fifth?
Second or third. Third is fine
Okay.
with me, if we can be third. Just because the time is changed and I might be interrupted at some point in the first minutes. Apologies for that.
No problem, no worry. Yes, let's do it. Sure. 哎，玉佳，那个第一位演讲嘉宾上线了吗？那我们就请那个郑总 from Malaysia. Do you want to start as the first one?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm good. Yeah. Good
Thank you.
morning. Can you hear me, right? Can
Everyone
you hear? Okay, good. Thank you.
Everyone
Thank
here?
you, Steffi.
Yes. Thank you.
See you online again. 早上好. Let me share my slide. Just 1 second. Okay. Hold on. Just 1 second. Let me share my slide here. Hopefully you can see my slide. Okay, can you see my slide, Steffi?
Yes.
Okay, it's in full screen, right? Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you again, WAIA, for the invitation, Steffi. It's great always to be connected with you since day one when we met in Shenzhen. So today, this morning in Malaysia, I'm in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm representing a few association change maker, as Steffi mentioned just now. I also sit in as the CSO for Malaysia IoT Association and the 5G Technology and Industry Association in Malaysia. So plus I wear different hats as well. Okay, next. Let me see. Okay. I'm representing also in one of the AI advisory nexus as well. They just concluded the report under the Ministry of Digital, and I sit in as the expert panel for the Malaysia Rubber Council under the Ministry of Plantation and Commodities, plus the Ministry of International and Trade Industry as well. I'm one of the Nexus members there. So plus the rest, Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair, which is I will share a little bit more later. So 2024, I was nominated as the top 10 best CSO. Okay, next. So I won't go into a little bit too much due to the time. These are some of my background. I can share and network with you all later. More recent, I just want to highlight, I curated quite a lot of probably the first 5G Malaysia International Conference exhibition and the first 5G hackathon for one of the university in Malaysia, UTM, together with industries. Plus, I give talks around the world, especially in the ASEAN or Asia part. Yeah. Okay, moving forward, I want to share with you this morning to kickstart. I mean, what do you call that? What are the government direction and who are the national enabler? These are not exhaustive. So basically, in Malaysia, there's a new industry master plan 2020. They call it NIMP. So, and the industrial forward, which is the roadmap for fourth industrial revolution. Some of the key I will not mention because it's a very big document. If you want, I can guide you where to get the document, the detailed document. Basically, one of the area that I want to share this morning is the talent development and policy support by our associations that I'm connected with. So one of the target is to have 3,000 smart factories by 2030 as part of the NIMP plan. So I think that is very challenging. So basically, smart factory can mean many things. Basically, we want to focus on small, medium enterprise as well. And to increase productivity, which is why I'm part of the Nexus group in one of the ministry, how we can increase productivity by 30%, to 30%, up 30% to 2030, basically fostering innovation, build up ecosystem for tech adoption, which is very relevant to this morning's talk, and develop skill workforce. So like I mentioned just now, I sit in and one of the expert panel for the ministry as well to evaluate companies providing, at the same time, we provide a little bit of grants for those who want to go into digital transformation. So there's a lot of opportunity. At the same time, some of the we work very closely with a lot of agency right here, as I mentioned, MITI. For those overseas, you might not familiar with the acronym. I couldn't type it because the name will be very long. Under the ministry, MIDA, MCMC, which is where I came from during my career. So Maranti, MRANTI, MDAC, DEC, MPC, and so on. So these are some of the, what do you call that, government agency or enabler together with industry that will ensure that the two master plan or, the NIMP are monitored, are executed well, and so on. Okay, next. Okay, so basically what we want in Malaysia is to advance the Malaysia Smart Factory robotic and AIoT. From automation, I think we have done a little bit of automation. We want to move into the next level, which is the intelligent manufacturing using AI, AIoT, robotics, as the what do you call that, a catalyst to achieve our roadmap, basically transition Malaysian beyond automation, towards intelligent, connected, factories to increase productivity, resilience, and sustainability. That is our big picture that we are looking at. I will share with you a little bit more on what are the verticals that we want to focus. Okay, so we have a strong MNC manufacturing base here in Malaysia, for those who are familiar with Malaysia. So, but I think there's still a lot of work needs to be done. I think it's not complete yet. So we want to have the end-to-end solution. So any collaboration partners, from overseas company with the local companies are highly appreciated. We are very strong in electronics, automotive right now coming up, medical devices as well, semiconductor, of course, cloud and so on, data center and so on, supported by a lot of system integrator. Malaysia IoT Association is like a system integrator, AI startup and robotic provider. So I think we look forward to this session. After this session, we can see how we can look into more robotics and automation providers. Okay, so from the Malaysia IoT Association, we are a neutral industrial platform. We bridge industry, government, and academia together as well. And from policy to pilot to scalable industrial solution automation for SME manufacturing as well, because SME consisted of about 70 to 80% of the contribution to the Malaysian GDP. So basically, we want to connect this session this morning is to see how we can connect with stakeholders across the world to create use cases, pilot, and be able to deploy the projects in various verticals. Yeah. So we like to do joint test bed or use cases, work towards the SME, area, and look around the ASEAN and the regional expansion as well. So that is basically we welcome any collaboration across the region in terms of smart manufacturing, so that Malaysia could be one of the main hub as well. Okay, these are some of the opportunities, in the smart manufacturing in Malaysia. Basically, I'm quite sure it's quite similar to many, many countries. Focus area will be like building technologies, we need a lot of automation as well, life sciences and medical technology. I've seen some pharmacies that are using robotics to do sorting of their what do you call that? Their medicine at the counter as well. So chemical and advanced material, I think that one can, it's given. Robotic and automation is very key. Machinery and metal, electrical and electronics. I mentioned just now we are in Penang and other in Selangor as well. We are very strong in terms. So there's a lot of opportunity for automation using robotics. Paper printing, publishing, similar. Where I live, we have a lot of printing companies as well. And as I pass by every day, I see a lot of digital transformation has been done, from printing, the machinery, and so on. Food technology, transportation, is given. Lifestyle, wood-based and furniture. A lot of people didn't know Malaysia. We export quite a lot of woods or furniture to Japan as well. So those are a few opportunities in the industry that you can tap on or collaborate together with the local system integrator. Okay, so I will not go into this. So if in terms of the Malaysia IoT Association, we focus some of the three special interest group. Basically, we focus on smart city and infrastructure nexus, smart agriculture and food safety nexus. So, and the last one is smart manufacturing in terms of 5G, AI, and IoT integration. So these are what we focus. And next is, these are some of our members. Our members consist of a lot of local internationals, from even China, Middle East, Russia, and so on. I will not go into too much detail, so we can touch base later. So basically, what we want is a quick win digital transformation in terms of using AI or machine language for predictive maintenance of machinery, especially for small and medium enterprise, what do you call that, company, because like I mentioned just now, they consist about 70 to 80% contribution to the GDP. So if we look at for this morning topic on smart manufacturing, I think very critical. We must move to digital. We must be connected. The machine must be connected, and data is very critical for them to make a decision, and so on. So ESG right now very critical. The government has, or I think worldwide, everyone is focusing on ESG. So energy and water is one of the key area as well, so that you comply with the laws and so on. Automation, robotic process automation, which is very relevant to this topic this morning. IoT and edge monitoring. So a lot of our partners are looking into edge as well to see how they could, improve the decision making and access to the data as real time as possible. So analytics dashboard is very critical. Digital logbook workflow application. You want to have all the digital information on one logbook or one dashboard. I think that's critical to reduce downtime, to be able to integrate,
Hello,
to increase
Zheng Zong,
efficiency.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry, your PPT. The audience mentioned that the PPT page doesn't move.
Oh,
Could you
okay.
maybe adjust a bit, because everyone want to follow your
Is
page.
it too slow? How about
Now
now?
it's always starts at the cover page.
Oh, how come is it? Okay. Not sure it's the line.
Oh, now seems it's moving. Now
Okay.
you have the logo wall page,
Okay. All
right?
right. It seems like very slow, the link. Oh, wait. How about now the green one, right? Yeah, it's a green one now, right? Correct. Emerging
Yes,
IT
yes.
solution. Okay, that's where I stop. My apology. So we miss out a little bit the front. I thank you for highlighting it because I thought was moving. Okay, so basically this is what we wanted to have a quick win digital solution for smart manufacturing. So I think with AI, machine language, we focus quite a lot on predictive maintenance, especially for SME. Okay, ESG I mentioned, automation, robotic process automation are quite popular here in Malaysia. So there's a lot of opportunity. Edge computing or monitoring, very important. Of course, the yield dashboard analytics is a given. That is very critical. If you have collected so much data, if you're not able to make sense of the data, there's no use as well for if you move into digital transformation. So basically, we're looking into like modular deployment for SME and so on, so that the values are seen, in weeks, not in or months, not years. So that is basically what we wanted to share. So these are some examples of our use cases. So where they basically integrate the modular MES platform into manufacturing areas. So basically to provide accurate real-time updates on work order, lots, batch, what are their tasks that is happening on the ground. So key modular, basically we want to start small because any interruption in their production line will be very drastic and it will be a loss of to revenue to the company or SME. So we want to start small, scale it as needed, so that because SME, small medium enterprise companies, as you know, they are very small and they don't have a lot of in-house expert, in terms of managing the digital transformation or their system. So we need to start small, scale it, so there's a lot of opportunity here in Malaysia as well. So some of the use cases, continued use cases will be example in a rolling mill. These are some of the initiatives that we have done, basically monitoring or collecting data and monitoring mounting the sensor, into the rolling mill to include accelerator, temperature, thermometer, pressure gauge, so that they can have a early warning system in case there's any fault in the what do you call it, in the plant. So those are a lot of there's a lot of improvement that can be done, so that the production or the manufacturing system, once they integrate into the SAP system or whichever ERP system that they have, they will have a good control center where they can make good decision and timely decision to improve their efficiency and productivity in their plant. So next one is the CNC machine. So basically it's a preventive maintenance. Like I mentioned just now, a lot of preventive maintenance, because you do not want to wait for the machine to stop, or you have a problem with the bearing, then you have to shut down the whole process, which could take a lot of time. You could have a scheduled shutdown when needed, maybe in the evening if the production is slower than during the office hour, and so on. So these are some, technology that we are looking at, and how fast they can replace, or, with the advanced maintenance, they can replace the affected parts with minimum downtime. Next one will be the robotic arms, very critical. A lot of adoption right now required, from very small robotic arms to very heavy robotics arm to move light and heavy equipments. So a lot of data are needed to be captured. So that's where I believe AIoT will be very, very important to detect vibration, jittering of the system, deviation from the normal spec or standard of the machine, so that you could have advanced maintenance and minimum uninterrupted operation. Okay, so the other use cases that we have is like a weather monitoring system. In Malaysia, we have heavy lightning density. So even these 2 months is a monsoon time, workers are at risk if there's lightning and so on. So we basically they use visual monitoring, or they look at data from the internet, clouds, and so on. So, but that is not so reliable and dangerous as well. False alarm are very if you use visual monitoring, and it will cause a lot of downtime as well. So basically, we want to have a good alert system for the manufacturing, so that engineers or person in the control rooms can make the right decision, whether to trigger to stop, or the protocol, or if the weather the lightning is getting stronger, so at least they can do something as well. The other solution is the smart weighing bridge as well. So a lot of automation are needed as well. So basically, I think I got it on the next slide as well. So basically, manual weighing process created a lot of data entry errors. Slow vehicle, you see a lot of trucks basically on the highway, waiting for their turn to go into the weighing scale. Potential of preference, high value raw materials, so these are basically some of the opportunities, solution that we are looking at, with IoT enabled weighing machine, utilizing RFID for vehicle identification. So we eliminate all the paperwork, ANPR cameras for security, and cloud-based to reduce the number of workers that need to be there. So these are some opportunities. If you have any solution, let's discuss. Secure document asset management. I think these are, when you talk about digital transformation, this is one key area where you can have from manual paperwork to digital. So you need to be able to see who authorized, who can access to sensitive data, and to be able to track back and so on. So those are some key areas on security, document asset management that requires, I think, a lot of, I've seen a lot of companies are using semi-robotic as well, or semi-digital transformation to ensure that they can deliver, 100% readiness and zero data breach implementation. Okay, and energy consumption, as well, I mentioned just now, very important. If you do it manually, you create a lot of area, lack of real time into understanding your operation in the manufacturing. Very difficult to do remote monitoring as well, or remote support as well. So if you are connected, I think chances are you will be able to, your engineers or your vendors are able to remote control and troubleshoot your manufacturing real time. Okay. Next one, a few more slides from myself. So basically, these are some of our activities that we work together with the Malaysian Automotive, Robotic and IoT Agency. It's called MARI, MARII. So this just concluded last month. Smart City Expo, we do a lot of networking session with our partners and with the government as well. Thank you for the invitation as well. I was at the AIoT Innovation Application, I think 2025, last year, right? Steffi, right? So we visited IoTE, we visited Malaysia, what do you call it, MWC, Shanghai as well, and in Shenzhen as well, IoTE.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So we want to continuously collaborate with association partners across the region. Our more recent one was we supported the Ministry of Digital in terms of 5G and OT security summit on manufacturing and smart city infrastructure. So these are some of our speakers and our key members that shared their experience in this event. So we do networking dinner, once a year or twice a year, big dinner where all our members come together. These are latest on some of my hackathon innovation that I've supported university and the Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair 2025 that just concluded last month as well. So I think that's all, let's connect through WAIA, let's connect through the association to learn and share and create opportunity across the region and across the border. Okay, with that, thank you, Steffi. Let's get connected and thank you very much for the opportunity to talk this morning. Thank you. I'll pass back the floor to you.
Thank you, Zheng Zong. We know as the bridge between industry and the government, your association, Changemaker, plays a very good role and key role in the driving practical pilot project. And I have a question for you, actually, for those OEMs, robotic OEMs looking to enter Malaysian or broader Asian or Southeast Asian markets. What do you see as their main challenges at the moment, particularly from China? Our robotic OEM have a quite strong will to keep integrate into the global markets, and also in Malaysia, as you mentioned, a lot of pilot project opportunity. So how would you advise them, particularly to collaborate with local partners to better improve their opportunity to be involved?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. That's a very interesting question. I think I mentioned there's a lot of opportunity in various verticals, in the industry I mentioned just now, from small to big. In terms of the OEM, I think most of our partners as well, of course, some build their own in Malaysia, but from the association perspective, we are always looking for collaboration as a partner where we can add value to the collaboration, so that, and I think a lot of customer, they require like support as well, local support, to be there, because let's say overseas support would technically take a little bit longer, so in terms of collaboration on robotics, I think I received quite a lot of requests as well from overseas company to seek collaboration. So I think the local companies are always ready to see how we can collaborate, because they understand the local requirement, the local language, so I think with the technology that is improving every second as we speak, or every constant improvement. So we need to provide value and solving customers' problems. So And of course, customer always requests like the best price, the cheapest price, best services. So I think in terms of collaboration, I think there's a lot of opportunity based on the verticals that I have shared just now. So robotic, I think it's because like say we wanted to have 3,000 smart factories in Malaysia by 2030. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to bring in robotics, into the manufacturing area so that we can reduce, because our labor cost is getting higher and higher and more costly. We are not, as cheap as we were about 10, 15 years ago. So that's why a lot of companies are going into automation with robotics and so on. So we seek, a lot of collaboration, technology transfer to Malaysia so that we could help. Basically, we are looking into the ASEAN market as well, not just in Malaysia. So I see that in terms of collaboration, I do not see any issue. It's up to individual companies to work together with the counterpart in China to basically have some sort of win-win situation agreement to bring the technology on board. Yep. Yep, that's it. Steffi, yep.
Oh, yes. Thanks. Thank you, Zheng Zhong. Thanks for the sharing and your insights. So let's move to the
Thank you.
second speaker. Second speaker session, I would recommend Michael Liu Zong. Could you maybe share with us about your solution? I know your topic is about improving model control accuracy with embodied intelligence from Yunhai Motion. So could Liu Zong help us to represent the China part to give your case?
Okay. Let's share my document. Okay. One moment. Oh. Sorry, I can't change. Yeah. Hello. Can you see the? Can you see?
Yes, we can
That's
see
okay.
the page. Yes, and maybe Liu Zong, you can try to move the page a bit. We see if it's moving.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good morning and evening, everyone. This is Michael from Yunhai Motion, Shenzhen, China. Okay. So for Yunhai Motion, we are just do the improve the motor control accuracy and implement embodied intelligence applications. Here just the three parts about the company and the products and our projects. Okay, for the first part, okay, it's about us. Yunhai Motion focusing on the intelligent drive system solutions and solve the vibration and the noisy problems and the improve the precision of motor control. Also, we provide integrated intelligent motor system solution, including the hardware and software. The last one is the AI plus the quadruped and humanoid robotics in intelligent. Oh, sorry, I didn't implement. Is AI plus the dogs and human robotics. Okay, for the part two, it's our products. Sorry, here. Our main products is the motor and it's including the brushless DC motor and the brushed DC motor, and also the Tokyo motors. So this is just for the single motor, and also our products include the geared motor, including the worm gear or the motor controller together. And also the in-wheel hub motor is also our main product. It is especially for the robots, for the delivery robot or the cleaning robot, any kind of robots, that's okay. And also we do the solutions for the address issues like the motor vibration and noise and enhance the motor control accuracy. The product is here. This product is for the carbon door motor. It's used for the robot. Okay, and also the in-wheel hub motor is for the main power for the robot to running. And also, we produce the arms. The arms is for for the very light, and also it's a very good quality and low price. Also, we do the dexterous hand and integrated with the arm and with the dogs, so it can finish the some how to say finish some jobs for the industry or any other season. Okay, for the part three is our projects. Here is the project industry classification. It's also our motors and arms is used for the delivery service robot and the cleaning robot and the mine equipment inspection robot and the robotic arm, dexterous hand and quadruped robot together. And also our motor is used for the medical device robot. Okay, here is the project for the delivery service robot. The effect configuration is the carbon operating noise less than 60 dB, and the carbon operating speed is increased by 50%. Now this motor is how to say, plenty of this motor is used in the robot. Here is for the cleaning robot. We supply the in-wheel hub motor, and also after our upgrade, there is zero encounter alarms and save the 40% of the commissioning time. And the PID regulation error less than 3%. Okay, here is our motors for the mine equipment inspection robot, and for the power equipment also. It's mainly for the inspection robot. Here is the motor for the medical centrifuge. Is the effort configuration is sample testing. For the sample testing efficiency from 350% per hour up to 700% per hour. And also the operating noise is less than 65 dB. So here is our uh, the quadruped robot and use an arm and also with some hands together used for the all kind of industry. And for here the first one is for the agriculture. Uh, the dog carry the arms and and other equipment together to go to the farm to inspect the plant, to see what how the situation is about the plant. And here the red one is for the industry, for the safety check, the safety inspection. The bottom one is for the power equipment inspection, and the last one is for the environmental. It's to pick up some bottles or any other small pieces or for the environment. Okay, here just our brief introductions. Thank you, everyone. Hello.
Thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
Michael,
finish. Okay,
for
thank you.
your presentation. I will follow up a question for you to
Okay,
better know your company, the High Motion. So
yeah.
we could actually see your presentation that High Motion, your company focused motor control accuracy through embodied intelligence. So
Mm.
the question will be that um, could you share some examples that um, where to improve the control accuracy directly helped overseas client solve the production pain points, especially in foreign markets? Or do you have any case or clients now in, for example, North America or Malaysia? Do you have any plan to move your case
Okay,
there?
I see. Okay, for now, by now, we don't have any product go to the overseas. We just starting the maybe the coming year we will start our overseas market, but by now it's zero.
It's actually a good start opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
To
maybe. So this time is the first try to contact the overseas partner. Okay.
channel partner. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see. I see. So
Mm.
the if we invite you to compare your key advantage of your product among others, what would you say?
Okay, our key advantage, okay, is very good quality and very suitable price.
Good quality with good price.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for your introduction, Michael. So then for quickly uh, going through all the sessions. So now let's move to the third session to
Okay.
Mr. Jeremy Ferret from Canada, CEO of Mind in a Box. He will share us the topic on combining hybrid computing and edge AI to leverage deep data. So let's welcome Jeremy to give us his session now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you see my presentation?
Yes.
All right. So 10 minutes is not a lot. I'm going to try to go quick through the slides. We're a computing capabilities provider as well as a service provider, and we work on three continents today. And we work with respect to high performance computing in manufacturing 4.0, field operations, smart supply chain. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about deep data and how we see it as a growing key point to deploy AIoT solution. And I'll explain a little bit why we think it's pertinent now. What are the capabilities that are offered by the technology, and a few examples in practice and some takeaways. So if we go to rationalizing it right now, we have IoT that is in order to provide AIoT solution combined with deep learning. And increasingly, we see it in the previous presentation that we have been viewing real-time requirements, right? Teleoperation, robotics, mobile equipment such as quadruped robots, lots of examples. And increasingly, that positions the need for distributed intelligence because not everything can be centralized. There's a need for fast response. There's a need for distribution of computing. And also, there is an incredible explosion of the data produced by AIoT. It contributes to a general phenomenon. 500 million gigabytes a day. It's like staggering. It's very hard to represent. And we have edge devices that are increasingly capable. I'll present some examples. And if you look at a cloud-only equipment that is based on multi-sensing, it's very constraining and edge devices that are increasingly capable. So AI is increasingly pushing compute back to the edge. IDC provides marketing data with 260 billion global spending on edge computing in 2025. We see that it's a general movement. And of course, it comes with challenges. Not all processing units are born equal, and edge computing hardware is very constrained. It's particular. It requires specific expertise. So if we look, and I go very quick because in 10 minutes I cannot go very much in depth, but it's a continuum, right? You have edge equipment. You have what connects the edge to the cloud. And so we've talked earlier about fog, 5G, etc. So between the edge and the cloud, you find fog capabilities. And there's a sort of a mobility between those three stages of cloud, fog, edge. But I would say that you end up having hybrid architecture in that spectrum. And the more distributed you are on that continuum, and the more you have to deal with hybrid infrastructure that combine edge and cloud. And so what is deep data? Well, it's especially important in that environment because deep data is really what you obtain when you generate analytics on the edge, on the endpoint. And so usually it's going to be because you want to generate smaller data that you send to the cloud, or you want to make your deep data pre-categorized, pre-optimized, more agile. And so it reduces cloud costs, which are increasingly a problem right now. And you see a lot of large companies in Occident talking about cloud exiting the cloud. It protects privacy, which is a huge problem when trying to get endorsement and to propagate your products. And of course, it brings more agility, more speed. It enables real-time decision, real-time processing, real-time reaction. And so we worked with those architecture for, I would say, 5 to 6 years now at Mine-in-a-Box. We've deployed in our set of equipment as a service orchestration capabilities at the fog or at the edge, and worked with a variety of equipment. And so we derived, advantages for our customer in terms of speed, privacy, and reliability. So if we look a little bit, at what those use cases look like, they make use of those new edge device capabilities. We see edge computing now as a convenience. It's not only in the manufacturing plant, it's everywhere around us. Distributed team, field operations, everybody now has some sort of edge computing capabilities in their pocket, in their hand, around their wrists, in their car. So it's not limited for us to manufacturing in the smart supply chain. It extends to distribution. It extends to distributed teams. And of course, in order to leverage that, you need to look at the specificities of this hardware. So, it's really something that has been accelerated, I would say, by the move in mass consumption equipment. We see now that neural engines are a little bit everywhere, of course, in the mobiles. And we see that with respect to field operation and smart supply chain, increasingly bring your own device can play a role in hybrid architectures. But of course, they are distributed in a number of devices. Energy becomes more and more important right now in North America and in Europe. Defense, of course, takes a new face as well. And so there's a multiplicity of domain for application of this. So as far as 2020, 2021, we interested ourselves. Those are two examples of publications that we circulated, looking at deep data generation from edge devices. So at the time, you know, the computing powers were fairly reduced. However, you know, dynamic voltage frequency scaling, we see it, we identified it years ago, and we see it as still very valid. And we also identified that even at the time, years ago, it was possible to run real-time AI at the edge. And we actually, in the years that followed, deployed such models at customer. And in 2025, it's still valid, right? Thermals and power management are still a key to doing computing in the manufacturing plant, to do AI inferences in the manufacturing plant, to do it in the pocket of field operations, in the pocket of people, as we'll see very quickly in health teams, etc. And so it brings you capabilities to process your data at the endpoint, not to have sensitive information on the cloud, not having to deter your customer because they're not comfortable with the data that you centralize. And it's considered really key for a lot of customers. We have to realize that there's very strong regulations now with respect to privacy. There's a lot of concern with respect to rules and regulation, for instance, in the United States as well, with the concentration of data and things like the Cloud Act. So there's a huge movement everywhere to look at what data escapes, you know, your pocket, the manufacturing plant, your teams, and to see what you send outside. And so this is something that, of course, brings solutions to that. So if we look at the limited resources, yes, you need to be very careful because you know, deep neural networks and similar models are large, and the solutions for those recent years remain the same, right? You need to reduce your models. You need to remove, you know, connections that are not redundant, that are not useful to your use case, and you need to optimize for your hardware. But when you succeed to do that, you end up having very good performances and very good resilience. And also, you know, there's a big advantage with respect to presenting your product and your safety, because when you move data to the cloud, you run privacy and security risk, but also you incur additional costs. And so if you do as many of your computation as you can on the endpoint, then you protect the user's data, you protect the company's data, you protect the manufacturing data. You promote system resilience, because if there's an outage of the network or an outage of the central processing, you still continue operating. And also, you have more possibility with respect to data governance. And so you can implement mobile device management, you can implement SOCs features at the edge. And so I'll show very quickly an example with the telecom. And so in practice, you know, there's challenges and trade-off with respect to deep data. If you do hybrid computing for deep data, it's very powerful, but there's some operational complexity because you have a heavily distributed system. So you need expertise in IoT, mobile, edge hardware. It takes a village. You need several expertise to provide that. There's an upfront investment because it's easier to centralize the processing. You have ready-made solution. If you want to deploy on the manufacturing equipment, on a smart camera, on a mobile phone, then you need to invest a little bit more. And you also need to curate your data because you need the smart filtering logic. You need to curate the data that you collect from the mobile, and then the deep data that you produce and that you send to the cloud or that you centralize. And there's more touch points for security oversight as well. You need to protect what you're doing with respect to computing locally. However, if you have a good use case, right? If you have a pain to address, it becomes a very powerful tool. You just need to make sure that you address a real pain, that you have a real benefit in targeting, edge computing and deep data. So very quickly, a few examples. We changed the legislation with respect to contaminated soil on construction sites. Contaminated soil, there was a difficulty to trace contaminated soil to go to recycling sites in order to decontaminate the excavated soil. So there was a change of legislation in Canada, change of legislation in Europe, and so we use the blockchain, to store, track, and trace geo-tracking information with respect to the transporter, and that was used to pay the transporter. And so the responsibility got out of the construction companies and got into the transportation company, which were directly monitored by the ministry with a blockchain-based system. And so that was an example where to validate, that GPS was not proof, was not tampered with, that there was no falsification of the routes, that safe routes were taken, etc., and that what was collected ended at the recycling sites. That was a very good element to compute a lot of things at the end point, at the collection point. So that's an example where, with IBM, in a partnership, we developed oracles that were using deep data, generating deep data to validate that the position were not tampered with. With Bell Technical Solution, we have a system that monitors 80,000 employees, field resources, and control a lot of aspects of their operations. And so we also use it in order to detect, sources of connection that are outside the provinces. Those tens of thousands of vehicles, we operate over 3 provinces in Canada, and we see that people using VPNs, for instance, are identified because we use geo-tracking for that. We also use all those informations that are collected and pre-processed at the endpoint, at the vehicle, on the equipment of the teams, in order to have composite KPIs for security. Another example with Bell Canada, this time it's the parent company, following the operations to connect companies and sites. With Telkom Indonesia, we worked at collecting at the endpoint on the networks, on the FOG networks, user experience indicators and to track them. With respect to Logistic Unicorp, they provide the Canadian Army a very large contract for manufacturing distribution. And we did a Scale AI project with them, then a second one. We've been collaborating for 5 years in order to track their entire infrastructure. They provide police service and army service in Canada. And so every single time we use deep data and edge computing, we don't centralize the computation. We distribute them as much as possible. They have very stringent security certification to be had, and that helps a lot not to centralize a lot of the data. And we also work with the emergency services in Quebec, the emergency vehicles, and the same, we do a lot of processing inside the vehicle because there's sensitive data about the patient, etc. The less we centralize the data and the more we analyze and send back, anonymized data, synthetic data, categorized data, the less costful it is to be compliant to regulations. Currently, we have our largest program in history. We developed for a very large data center operator, thermal, waste heat management, measurements to see and to provide with their customer to their customer, carbonation, greenhouse gases indicator, optimize the recycling of the fatal heat, of the waste heat, etc. And that's based on, a staggering amount of data. We try as much as possible to distribute the computation and to do things at the endpoint, because the customer, of course, don't want to centralize anything with respect to their equipment. And so they want to the data to be as much anonymized, as much synthetic as possible when it comes back to the monitoring. They don't want any detail about their customers, being centralized. That's a big no-no. So I will finish by saying, that it's a new paradigm for IoT and AIoT, not to centralize inferences and to distribute it as much as possible. It's not for everyone, and you need to assess your use case. Look at latency, privacy, bandwidth to see if you can really justify the investment, because it's a tough investment to begin with. And you need to first ask yourself about the distribution architecture, the fog part. How can you implement it with your use case? Because sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes it's going to be too costful. So even if you have like the right use case, you need to be able to harmonize that with your business model, with your price model. Right? And you need to optimize your models so that they can execute at the endpoint, because the endpoint is more constrained, there's less resources, and you need to design for resilience, right? You need to design so that privacy of the data is maintained, and so deep data can allow you to be more secure, but you need to introduce it in your design. Otherwise, you can actually expose and have a more brittle security rather than reinforce it. But if you are in the right use case and you look at those 4 key points, our vision is that you will have access to a world where you can have smarter, faster, safer decision at the source, and even cheaper, because you reduce your cost of operation and your cloud infrastructure costs. So we see it as something very interesting after the deployment that we've done at the customer in customer situations. So that was it. Now, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy, for your insights. Quite informative for us to learn the topic from your regional market. I would like to raise a question for you based on your presentation, your key perspectives for us. So, in your view, how can such a edge AI and hybrid computing solution do you think can be integrated and collaborate specifically with robotic OEMs? As you probably mentioned and coordinate a bit in the session, but I would like to invite you to emphasize this points, and especially to also give some advice that what kind of partner strategy and resource alignment would you recommend if robotic OEM want to collaborate with you on some client together, let's say in some scenario or solution design case? And can you maybe share your...
First, it needs to be not about technology, but it needs to be about business, right? So there cannot be a partnership if there's no commercial model, right? And so there needs to be a strong commercial model, because as I've positioned, when you do this kind of integration, there's a cost. There's a starting cost to it. There's a lot of advantages, but there's an investment to be done. So you need to make sure that you address the right pain and there's a commercial model, or it's not worth doing it. The second thing is that you need to start with a reference architecture, right? Very often people are going to exchange technical fact sheets and say, okay, my robotic system is very good. You have good expertise. Let's put it together because we're good structures. No. In my opinion, there needs to be a reference architecture. There needs to be a very specific technical use case And it cannot be just two expertise meeting together. There needs to be a reference design, right? And then the best way to act is around the data, in my opinion. There needs to be data contracts, between partners, and those data contracts must be extremely precise. The interfaces must be extremely precise so that there's no bad surprises down the line and added cost, etc. And then very often there's two elements that come and grip. You have to split responsibilities very clearly, right? You need to be able to have RACI responsibilities very clearly defined on very clear documents, simple synthetic document, but with no shadow zone. And it's very important with respect to hybrid architecture because, of course, we meet in the fog, right? And robotics need to know exactly what are the responsibilities with respect to data contract, etc. So it's very important to have the eye on those different points because otherwise partnerships will not work. And so the winning OEM partnerships are the ones that productize the whole pipeline. The edge inference, the governance, the fleet operation, not just the model. And so that's where I see the possibility of success.
Thanks a lot for this point. And based on your market insights from Canada, maybe the North American market, we would like to know how do you perceive at the moment the performance of Chinese robotic OEMs in terms of technology integration and data security, as you said. Is there any chance or any possible sort of way for us to enter your local market a bit further, or what specific collaboration advice?
Well,
I know you already mentioned a bit, but do you have any advice for Chinese OEMs?
I would say that, and I can talk for Europe as well as North America because of my career I done in Europe in aeronautics and in the rail industry and in the banking, and then I came to Canada and I've done projects in the United States as well. So I know a little bit those two markets, and I would say that the answer is not very different between Europe and the United States, right? It's hard to generalize performance across all the Chinese OEM. It can vary a lot, and there's leaders in the market. There's domains that are absolutely dominated, by Chinese OEMs. There's others where there's a little bit more struggle. But I would say that there's design for data localization by default. Standardization can only go so far. There are specificities with respect to local markets, right? Canadians are using some technologies. The United States are using other technologies. So there's significant differences with respect to localization. And that's a challenge, right? So those are questions that need to be asked because very often we see important or OEMs consider that very large markets are all together, and that's not the case. There's large differences between the West and the East. There's large difference between the North and the South. The industries are not the same. The requirements are not the same. The regulations are absolutely not the same. And so very often we see products fail because they didn't ask themselves about the particularism of this or that market. So that would be the first point that I would recommend. The second point is that there needs to be a trusted boundary architecture. You need to have a very clear discourse on what you guarantee with respect to your equipment and what is the responsibility of your integrator, right? Because otherwise it becomes very insecure, and there's a multiplicity of intermediaries that come. And with the multiplicity of intermediaries that take that risk with respect to OEM, then you get more pressure on the price and you get less margin, and that can also weigh on the model. And I hope that I'm not being too politically incorrect, but I believe that with respect to OEMs and technology providers right now, whether it is in North America, in Canada, or whether it is in Europe, there's a lot of question with respect to Asia, and there's a lot of question with respect to the United States in respect to with respect to data safety. And so, you know, it's those markets have a lot of activity, and they're completely, for the last 18 months, reassessing their entire relationship with respect to data sovereignty. Okay, and so if you want to take digital product and export them, I think, you know, we talk a lot about energy, but data sovereignty is becoming a key factor absolutely in terms of decision to buy from OEMs. So I would recommend, you know, it's good to say my product is good and my product is cheap, but is my product safe with respect to the data? And does it guarantee that the person that is going to use it can guarantee its sovereignty? And here there's, you know, there's a sort of paranoia that is installing with the customer. It's not sufficient to do good. You need to be able to prove that you're doing good with respect to data sovereignty in order to be able to import in many zones in 2025. And in 2023, that was not a problem. But in 2025, it is a huge problem. Huge. It's driving everything around data, and IoT produces a lot of data, and IoT produces a lot of manufacturing, intellectual property, or communicates a lot of that. IoT communicates a lot of personal information. So I would recommend not to treat that as a minor issue. It is an absolutely major concern for zones right now that are still significant markets, right?
Yes. Yes. Thanks, Jeremy, for your advice and reminder for many audience of us. And by the way, if anyone of our audience or speakers, you want to raise questions or want to interact with our keynote speakers, please feel free to raise hand in the chat room and just please just interrupt. It's totally okay to be more interactive among our webinar. But then after, based on the Jeremy's sharing session to represent North American and Europe market insights, very valuable for us. Now let's move to Sally Yu, the International Business Manager at Hangzhou Link Visu, presenting paperless factory solution. So let's welcome Sally to give the session. Sally 在线吗？
在的，可以听到吗？
谢谢，可以的。
Okay, I will share my presentation.
Yes.
我的屏幕在动，对吧？ Is my present is rolling?
I think it's rolling now.
Okay.
And yes, now we can see that.
Hi everyone, sincere welcome to today's live presentation. We appreciate your time and let's explore the innovation advancement of factory solutions with us. And let me introduce Link Visual in paperless factory solution. Throughout this presentation, we'll systematically work through the core technology, application scenarios, and the product specifications, successful cases, and investment returns of the solution. Now let us embark on this journey of technological innovation. Link Visual is committed to delivering efficient, practical, and on-demand intelligent solutions for global manufacturing enterprises. And our flagship offering, the paperless factory solution powered by e-ink technology, redefines the traditional factory operations by replacing the cumbersome paper-based identification documents with smart electronic label. This page shows us the show our core technology capabilities of the e-ink. Multi-network integration system, low power electric ink screen technology, industrial environment customization, optimization algorithm, real-time positioning, software interface, standardization, durable moisture resistance. From this picture, you can see the traditional workflow. The conventional MO management process involves multiple measure steps, including printing MO tickets, manual posting, on-site inspection stamping, manual outbound searches, and manual management of plenty vehicle. These steps are not only time-consuming and labor-intensive, but also prone to errors, leading to delayed information transmission and inefficient resources utilization. For the new process, the innovative workflow with e-ink, by digitalizing the MO tickets, our solution completely eliminates the cumbersome steps of the traditional paper-based process. The system features an illuminated good finding guide, enabling the quick and accurate localization of the materials. Empty vehicle management is fully automated through the system, achieving the paperless, digital, transparent, and low carbon operations. This upgrade not only reduced administrative burdens on frontline personnel, but also enhances the production scheduling, flexibility, and order fulfillment efficiency. Yeah, we also integrated e-ink plus AGV plus RFID to further elevate the level of the smart factory collaboration. We have developed and integrated a solution combining them and realizing the seamless synergy between humans, machines, and materials. The e-ink labels application scenarios, not only factory production workshop, but in office and public spaces as well. So you can say our technology has been creating intelligent and eco-friendly operational environment as the smart table cards and the smart electrical shelf labels. It's connected online and offline, provide online and private domain entrances, automatic data update and push, eliminate the paper materials. And you can see the intelligent work card featuring lightweight and ultra-thin designs. These cards integrate an NFC technology to display the employee identities, department, affiliation, and real-time permissions. Smart door plates display the smart meeting room management, real-time meeting status, reservation information, and attendance and meeting schedule. So users can book rooms through something like WeChat mini programs or the on-site QR code scanning. The system incorporates a time-limited check-in function to automatically release unused conference room resources that can optimize the resources utilization. The integrated NFC ink labels also have some other applications as the smart archive box and intelligent storage cabinet. You can see the quickly located the location of the archive box and improving the searching efficiency. This is our system architecture and the deployment. This adopts a cloud-based distributed architecture featuring the flexible deployment and the efficient management. The ink system connects with the core industry management systems like MES, WMS, APS to align with the upstream business workflow. The ink system is layered industry management platform that integrates with key business systems, providing multi-module operational functions and runs on a complete technical stack from the hardware OS to the browser-based access. So you can see we offers a comprehensive product portfolio tailored to diverse application scenarios with strict quality control and performance optimization. This is the base station, serve as a communication hubs, adopting 2.4 gigahertz private protocols with a coverage radius of 8 to 12 meters. They support PoE and 12 VDC dual power supply modes, ensuring the stable operation. E-ink labels and NFC devices connect to the base stations for real-time data synchronization with a communication delay of only 8 to 10 seconds. Yeah, we also provide different various clamping methods. Stick-on, it can be removable and clip-on, and hook, magnetic base, screw fastening, and table model. Let me share you some cases of WIP control and in production schedule. This case is from a global leader in energy management and automation. Yeah, they faced significant challenges in its PCBA workshop. This workshop includes 4 core processes: SMT, wave, test, and coating. Their pain point is no visibility of production sequence for wave test and coating. The operators produce by what they saw. Difficult to measure on-time delivery of each process. Their bottleneck changed based on mixed WIP, difficult to do resource allocation. Operator check flow charts and handwrite WIP information, mistakes, and cost time consuming. So this picture illustrates the change before and after use of e-ink system for management. How did we do it? First, from the structure, the customer's MES serve communicate with our e-ink label server. Data in MES with same variant of e-ink system and the configurable variant in e-ink system web portal. The interface is a JSON document. So each factory or workshop can be configured as an independent site with multiple base stations and the labels assigned to the single site. Base stations default to managing labels within their respective sites to achieve isolate management. Cross-site management can be implemented through system reconfiguration, adapting to complex factory layouts. This architecture design ensures the solution's scalability and compatibility, supporting customized deployment of the enterprises. So, however, what the operator need to do is like that. Scan the e-ink label tag number, the ID, and scan the board sign. Yeah, this view shows two of the board sign. Then the operator just click the load button. Finally, the e-ink label display. Okay, so we get the benefit from the solution. And we got the good shop floor management, timely measurement, and timely management. Okay. Now, this is another case I'd like to show you is from an automobile factory. The first step is the system and the handheld terminal triggers the LES to send the picking tasks. Then the PTL system integrated with the RFID system receive the picking tasks. When the physical material cards pass through the fixed RFID reader, the information is uploaded and the data is sent to the e-link displays for the content refresh. Then picket confirmation of picking can be done through the e-ink display buttons or the PDA scan. We show you some other pictures of the e-ink case in the workshop. Yeah. Oh, finally, I will show you two very interesting charts. This is a case in finance investment from a tier 1 auto company. This factory replaced the paper labels on 300 toilets with our e-ink labels, achieving remarkable economic and environmental benefit. The solution reduces the annual carbon emission by 180 kilograms by eliminating 1.47 million sheets of paper and reducing the printer energy consumption, aligning with the global carbon neutrality goals and enhance the corporate social responsibility. This is the IO chart. From this table, you can find the savings from this project. 10 years traditional inputs around 2 million RMB, and the 10-year e-ink paperless solution investment is only around 400,000. So we have comprehensively present our link visual e-ink paperless factory solution, and we firmly believe that the solution will provide a strong support for manufacturing enterprises now. And if you have any question, please share your concerns and interest to us, and our team will provide you professional answers. Yeah, that's it.
So thank you, Sally, for your presentation on the paperless factory solution. Replace the traditional paper process with e-ink displays. And I would like to follow up with a question based on your sharing session. What are the main practical risk and opportunity do you think that you are encountered during the solution implementation in overseas markets when you're serve some specific client? Do you have some specific case or experience that you would like to share with us?
Yes, we have some projects in Canada or in the Southeast, like Malaysia, and many of our overseas clients first observed the application cases of our solutions in their domestic factories, recognize that their replicability, and then implement these projects in their overseas factoring facilities. So in this way, everything runs smoothly, actually. Of course, we also have some completely independent demands from the overseas factories. So we faced with some following challenges, something like the insufficient tolerance to the local operating environment, incompatibilities in the hardware and system integrations, or even mismatches with the local operational habits. So also have some problem with the supply chain and logistics delivery issues. But then, however, we have the communication with our clients, and we have developed the solutions that enable the rapid implementation and the remote guidance. Meanwhile, we have imposed more product requirements on our R&D teams to better align with our client needs, to categorize the scenario-specific demands for more overseas clients. So we believe that we still need to more work to do our products and to the deployment with our customers.
Do you have local maintenance team or technical support team in Malaysia or Canadian, or let's say North American or European market?
Actually, not yet. Not yet. We have the online team to support our overseas customers. However, our current platform and our current software and deployment is not that difficult. It's convenient. Many of our overseas customers can learn quickly after our trainings online.
I see.
And if they have some problems, they will call us or have meetings with us and to solve the problem.
Thank you, Sally, for
our feedback is very promptly.
So we hope to also facilitate your team to get more global market or different regional market channel partners in the future. And yes, so the next session, the keynote speaker will be Dr. Sina Gurumo, the head of Department of Computer Science at University Malaysia, and he is also served as the member of Technical Committee on IoT and Digital Twin at Department of Standards Malaysia. He will discuss the topic on AIoT in Asia moving forward with sustainable solutions. Welcome, Dr. Sina. Long time no see. For a while, not too long time.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Sophie.
you for your
everyone.
session.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks. It's nice to have being on board again. Right. Can everybody see the slide?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. So I'll spend a couple of minutes on the AIoT in Asia and how we are moving forward with sustainable solutions. And we'll be also actually sharing some inputs on the role of manufacturers, some opportunities ahead, and what OEMs manufacturers could do looking forward in the investment, especially an investment perspective, right? So I think the readiness is already there, and if we compare in the Malaysian's perspective, especially the Asia holistically, there are already 19% of the concentrations on manufacturing, right? Be it automotive, electronics industries, as we could see that the main focus would be purely on the manufacturing side. And there's been a plethora of various solution use cases in Asia, and particularly in Malaysia. We are looking at very much on the semiconductor centrics. So manufacturers, robotics and automations that actually lies in line with the AIoT solution cases. They're very much in line with the semiconductor perspective. And if we look at the recent initiatives like in Malaysia, they have set some minimum target of 3,000 smart factories by 2030, right? So this is the concern of the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, which is part of the new Industrial Master Plan 2030, right? So this was in 2025, and of course, it's been extended till 2030, and there are a lot of initiatives and opportunities for the OEMs to capitalize on this. So how do we go about it, right? So The ministry has identified several MVPs, right? Especially on how to fostering partnerships through industry, through the course of the industrial policies. And if you look at the MVP 2.1, it's actually transforming the 3,000 smart factories in the next 5 years. And we also have other MVPs like creating a global IC design champions in EV, AI, and of course, establishing Malaysia as generative AI hub, right? So for every OEMs, right, in the Asia, right, or probably in the Europe, for looking forward on the investments, right, there is a specific program, right, which is designed to accelerate the adoption of the forming of the smart factories, especially among the manufacturing companies, right? So the strategy is to actually to partnership with the local company, which could have at least 51% of Malaysian owned, and that particular company should be at least 3 years in operation, and they could come in the categories of small medium enterprises or mid-tier. And of course, local companies, normally they are incorporated under the Companies Act in Malaysia, right? And they should have some valid business license from the local authority. And the most important things, the service domain should be from the manufacturing or the manufacturer-related services, right? So this kind of partnership is actually explains the eligibility criteria of for any OEMs or manufacturers who wants to invest in Malaysian's projects. So if you look at the tech landscape, all right, Asian Hub has been very matured with the E&E and semiconductor ecosystems. So we have a deep talent pool, multilingual, a strong engineering background, and there's been a robust global change in the Penang, the Kulim, right, states in Malaysia, right, and most of them are very investor-friendly environment, right. So there are many offerings like pro-business incentives via many agencies like MDAC and MIDA. All that we need to do is actually to find the stable IP framework and get started from it to look at the operating costs before investing into the manufacturer's side. So the demand drivers in Malaysia has been always consistent, right? For any OEMs or manufacturers who wants to invest, right, there's been a lot of incentives, and which is, I think, very non-exhaustive, right? Some things like tax incentives, right, inclusive of manufacturing R&D, right? There's been a lot of incentives given for manufacturing companies, high-tech companies, doing some strategic projects. So it could be from the small and medium enterprises, right? And this has actually has been extended. The tax incentive has been extended, right? And there are also specific incentives for R&D, right? So it could be OEMs or manufacturers who wants to do a contracting R&D company in Malaysia, right? Probably they want to have conduct in-house research, and there'll be incentives for the reinvestment on those activities. And surprisingly, and I think that's the most beneficial, would be the double deductions for the R&D. So we call it DTD, double tax deductions, right? Part of the initiatives to get the double tax deduction is actually to partnership with the local universities, right? So I'm coming from University Putra, Malaysia, right? It's one of the Malaysian public universities, which is a very core initiative in agriculture and AIoT. So we do have double tax deductions for any industry partners who are actually coming forward to establish joint laboratory scales, probably contract research projects with the universities, and then from there they could establish their manufacturing hub in Malaysia through the university. So this is part of the government's effort to, and also the university's vision on what we call as thriving the industry, right? So thriving the industry, like we want the industry to come on board, and then we will help the industry to grow, to have investment in the local region. And apart from that, there are also incentives for automations and digitalizations, right? Like there are specific tax incentives for automation in manufacturing services and agriculture sectors. So it's very interesting why it's agriculture, because Malaysia and particularly UPM has been always having a very strong background in agriculture sectors, the smart agriculture sector. So a lot of work and effort has been moving towards that. And even we have a blueprints on food security, which I could share you later, right? So on the use cases, I think it's pretty much clear. It's about smart manufacturing. So areas like predictive maintenance, machine visions for assembly lines, digital twins for the throughputs, optimizations, edge analytics, right? And then looking at higher equipment, lower scrap and faster changeovers. These are the common use cases we are looking at, right? And of course, more specifically would be smart agriculture and plantations because of the ecosystems here. So deployment of sensor networks for soil, microclimate, and fertigation management, which actually directly related to the food security agenda, right? So having HAI on the on-field inference and offline first operations, yield predictions, these are all some of the pipeline use cases, right? So in Malaysia, we do have national policies for food security. And apart from that, the university has blueprints on the food securities, which actually incorporates some of the top use cases of AIoT, right? So it comes from the many verticals, right? From the supply chain towards the inventory, towards the predictive maintenance, and not necessarily focus on the soil, on the crop productions, but sometimes it goes beyond that on the applications as well, right? So this is one of the growing trends in Malaysia, right? So investing in Malaysians food security through AIoT is it's also part of the visions of the Ministry of Agriculture, right? So we see a lot of potentials for overseas investors, OEMs, even manufacturers to come forward to looking to tap the market. And then, apart from that, as I mentioned on the food security, we also have aquaculture, which is very much growing, especially on the shrimp and productions, and having specific smart aquaculture ponds that actually being monitored through the AIoT technologies, which is beneficial to escalate the growth of the local farmers, right? And this is actually part of the sustainable economic productions for the local farmers. So apart from that, there are also smart cities use cases which very much relate to the local councils in Malaysia, like looking at the flood sensings, early warnings, especially on the urban resilience dashboards, and also EV charging optimizations has been tremendous growth with some fleet electrification telemetry. So these are also some of the aspects that actually could be part of the investment, right? And when we have very much focused healthcare and ambient adaptive living lifestyle, especially for aging populations in Asia, like having home-based monitoring, using AIoT for monitoring vital signs, like and even fall detections and giving some prescriptive medication adherence, and hospitals with the asset tracking, AI triage and remote consultations that actually can be integrated with the national health systems. So the outcome is actually to see aging in place with reduced and less readmissions, and of course, lower costs, right? So these are also some of the aspects of AIoT sustainable solutions. So this is an example of the many of the works that we do here, right? Especially on the AIoT related activity detection in smart spaces, which cut across on the healthcare perspective, especially for the elderly citizen monitoring, right? So we have bespoke sensors that actually plays a role of for data acquisitions, and from those data will be pre-processed with some of the AIoT model and training, and then we do some classifications of activities for highly populated spaces, right? And also not necessarily highly populated spaces, there are also some of the work done for activity detections, or sometimes we call this activity recognitions in the smart home environment. So another interesting field or use case domain that actually is being having some interest, right? Growing interest is actually neuromorphic, right? Because very much related, neuromorphic computing is very much related to the semicon industry, right? So it's actually a field that applies the principle of neuroscience to computer systems to mimic the brain's function and structure. So and there's a lot of scaling up to make sure it's effectively compete with the current computing methods, right? So some of the example for the neuromorphic computing would be the scientific general computing, AI, AIoT, of course, right? AR, VR, wearable, smart farming. And this neuromorphic chips have the potential to outpace the traditional computers in energy and space efficiencies, right? So this could present substantial advantages across various domains, including AI, healthcare, and robotics. So we see neuromorphic computing emerge as promising solutions for AIoT in the coming next 5 years, right? So this is something that we can also tap, especially for overseas investors who wants to look into some of the emerging domains to be investing in it. So as I mentioned, Malaysia outlines criteria for access to ARM chip design framework. So it is expected that Malaysia will be producing their own chip in the pipeline. So global importance for the IoT SoC chips always aligns with the Malaysian strategy technology goals, right? So the market is projected to exceed 5 billion by 2030. And Malaysia is already having advanced packaging and back-end semiconductor capabilities actually, right? So the Malaysian AIoT and system of chip market is actually gaining some critical importance, right? So as as mentioned, that there are many competitive edge lies in the sector, right? A lot of government-backed initiatives as well as incentives, right? Given under the National Policy on Industry 4.0. This could actually amplify the demand for the locally developed and custom SoC. So this is again some opportunities for us to look into on what lies ahead, right? So this especially we have the outsourced semiconductor assembly and testing being ranked as the world's 6th largest exporters of the semiconductors, right? So AI to unlock over US 113 billion for Malaysia. So this from the minister last year, and this was the during the World AI conference in Shanghai, right? When the minister highlighted the government is very serious in transforming the Gen AI across the industries, and particularly in AIoT on many areas, especially on semiconductor centric. So this was the some of the AI Malaysia and inaugural AI conversations actually speaks about a lot about the semicon industries. So other than that, we also have use cases on energy and sustainability, like for energy, industrial energy intelligence, smart buildings, premises with HVAC optimizations, which we expect around 10 to 25% of energy savings potentially in the typical facilities. So the investment opportunities, of course, on the software platforms and data, we are looking into AI frameworks, the way we manage the devices with observability stacks, vertical apps, right? Data exchanges, or marketplace enabling trusted cross-enterprise sharing, and of course, regional AI safety, which is part of it. So why Asia? Because we have a very much a proximity and cultural affinity. There could be a seamless supply chain bridges, and it's China plus diversification with Asian access is actually a strong point of value for us. Strong university and R&D partners, right? So as I mentioned that attractive incentives and collaborative test beds with agencies could start from the universities when the overseas partners actually team up the universities to deploy a project and subsequently expand it to the regional level, right? So there could be a joint ventures with the local champions, contracting manufacturing labs. We have a collaborations of R&D with universities for HAI, cyber physical systems, like even a living labs like what we have in universities, right? Campuses. This could be also some potential collaboration models to look into. So this could be typically this could be a 12 to 18 months roadmap if we are really keen to invest and then looking at to materialize them in the next 1 to 1.5 year. So what happens in the first 3 months, we have some mapping, partner selections, and looking into the data readiness. And then in the phase 2, we would have a co-development, okay, POCs, looking at some specific KPIs, okay, and local certifications. And finally, in the next 10 to 18 months, that could be manufacturing localizations in looking at the locations, hubs, and the financing structures with some support from the government as well. So what are the most promising investment, right? Definitely, it will be like the rise of incubators in states like Selangor and Penang, which are actually drawing talent capitals, right? So one of the most notable trends shaping the Malaysian AIoT SoC chips, right, is in 2026. A lot of Malaysia's fabless semiconductor startups are focusing on building AI cores within the SoCs optimized for localized language processing, right? Of course, with the sustainability is also taking center stage with a push towards designing an energy efficient and recyclable chips, right? So these are some of the latest trends, right? So their national plans and strategies are very clear. We have this new industrial master plan, NIMP 2030, and with some other economic blueprints. So this has been already outlined, the strategy and its role in semiconductor. So as I mentioned, there are tax incentives for AIoT solutions, including investment tax allowance offers probably around 60% on qualifying capital expenditure for the next 5 years. And we can also benefit from the pioneer status, which provides an additional of 70% of income tax exemptions for up to 10 years. So it's very lucrative, and it's just a matter of finding the right driving industry partner with the local regions, right? So these are some of the IoT and robotics in Malaysia semiconductor sectors. So we have a lot of policy aligned opportunities under the industry forward and in NIMP 2030. So we have a back-to-back and semiconductor hub in Penang and Kulim. AIoT and robotics already deployed in many fabs, logistics, inspection, and energy. Strategic focus will be very much on the productivity, resilience, and of course, importantly, the sustainability. So these are the relevant frameworks like Industry Forward and NIMP 2030, which I mentioned before. So what are the opportunities? So OEM can realistically participate and win in the Malaysian OEM opportunities, not limited to robot sales, because the strongest value would be more than that, like local adoptions, services and long-term partnership. So, for example, integrating robots with the legacy PLCs, right, is something that there's a lot of demand here, and also MES and SCADA systems, and looking at some of the mixed vendor equipment, right? And why Malaysia needs this? Because most fabs are hybrid, because they are consist of old and legacy tools, and sometimes the global OEMs rely heavily on the local integrators. So who benefits that? Robotics, OEMs, AIoT platform providers, and even local automation companies will benefit from this, right? And then, of course, there are also opportunities for predictive maintenance for robots and equipment. For instance, AI-based health monitoring, 24/7 on-site support contracts. So how does it work and why it works? Semiconductor fabs prioritize uptime over capex. There could be strong recurring revenue modules for OEMs, right? And we could also have some process-specific AI and robotic modules, like companies that wants to invest on custom solutions for die bonding, test handling, even vision-based defect detections, right? So HAI models can be tuned for local processes, right? So another gold mine would be the training opportunities. When we have a robot operated training, probably coming up with modules on AI-assisted decision tools, or even digital twin-based skill development. This is actually the gold mines, right? So Malaysia specifically needs some upscaling for the local workforce as a policy priority. And this could be done with the matching with the industry and the universities together to come up with some training modules. So OEMs offering training could gain trust in policy support in the long run. So what OEMs could prepare in advance, they could come up with HAI-ready robotics technology, propose clean room compatible designs, also some interoperable and standard-based platforms, that would be very much suitable for the local landscapes. And even for the team, I think the OEM should have established some semiconductor process experts, having AI with robotic engineers working together, and we'd have a very strong local Malaysian engineering presence, right? That would be value added. So the resources need to be prepared. It's like budget for pilots, POCs, long-term service capabilities. Yeah, the partnership with the local universities is very much encouraged, and I think that gives a upper hand for any industries who wants to expand their local presence here in Malaysia, right? So university would be a good start to have a partnership, to have MOUs, and to have contract projects, research projects, probably in a short funding schemes, getting some talent capitals from the universities to work on the initial projects. I think there'll be a lot of support from the government agencies as well on this kind of strategy. So what can go wrong, I think, and what to prepare? I think for integrations, yeah, multiple vendors, yeah, there could be some risk issues, especially on the proprietary interfaces, when we're looking at the production downtime. So there should be some preparations on proposing some modular, non-intrusive AIoT design, and also use of open standards. And probably other things that you have to be prepared, like the pilot first deployment strategy. And even on the data side, because semiconductor fabs, normally they don't share the data openly. They have a very tightly protected yield data process, recipes and so on. So this is said to be prepared, including production metrics. So Edge AI could be one options where no raw data leaving the factory, and looking at the on-premise deployment options, and of course some preparation on this strong legal and data governance frameworks, right, before investing. So we have a lot of representative deployments like in Intel Malaysia, Infineon Kulim, Osram Penang, okay, very much focused on the predictive maintenance, robotic precision assembly, right? So the OEM opportunities could be on the local system integrations or retrofitting. They could also invest in the operations and maintenance, like for AI enable some process-specific AI or robotics modules. And of course, AI seems to be very much promising, right? Especially at this point of time. Okay, so of course, as I mentioned, that the integration with the legacy systems could be some of the practical risks, I think, which can be overcome. The data sensitive, the fabs, skill gap and change management, reliability and safety requirements. And of course, some of the preparations like coming up with open and interoperable AIoT platforms, starting up a local technical teams with the proper domain experts, with both overseas and local, getting up some workforce upskilling and certification, I think, which the universities can help. And also we should have some pilot first projects, a couple of small projects to look at the low risk deployment models before we embark on the regional level. So collaborations and grant mapping, right? Industry, university, IoT pilot projects is something that we can look for. Something like to come up with the test beds for robotics, HAI, smart energy, right? Even ESG-driven smart manufacturing pilots, which actually entitle for many incentives. So the funding and alignment could be work together with the local agencies like MOSTIs, right, from the Ministry of Science, MIDA, MCMC innovation programs. There are also intervention fronts from the government, and of course the National New Industrial Master Plan 2030. We have many clusters that we can actually tap on, right? Right. So thank you very much, right? So I'll be happy to take up any questions from the floor. Right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Dr. Sina, for your comprehensive picture on the AIoT opportunity and robotic deployment case in Malaysia. Especially, you mentioned the core semiconductor and electronic ecosystem is now the Malaysia's core strength in smart factory upgrade. And this can be seen as a very major opportunity in the whole region for many new players to participate or to get involved. As you can see, we have quite a big number of Chinese robots OEM that now prepared in terms of their technical product innovation and the commercial models in China, and they are eager to explore the pathway, as you also mentioned some key points that's to lead to pave their ways to the other emerging and promising market like Malaysia. So do you have any specific advice, particularly for this kind of new Chinese robotic OEMs? Do you think in terms of their collaboration models? You mentioned some direct investment, but some of them, as we see, they could want to maybe try a pilot first, or to identify themselves in a good proposition sort of potential scenario. So do you have some specific advice? How could they prepare well to such kind of pilot?
Yeah. Thank you, Steffi. I think for a start, the OEM or manufacturers, okay, they could actually, as you mentioned, that they can start a pilot projects with the universities, right? It won't be a lot of investment because we have the talent pool of capitals, and probably taking up 1 or 2 robotics projects to see the pilot deployment. And from there, they can actually, those companies can apply for establishing their investment niche in Malaysia. So this could be one strategy, because while we're doing that, we could also identify the niche area and even the localizations of and then the local customs, and that could actually give a lot of upper hand for the um, companies who seriously wants to do some business and investment in Malaysia.
Thank you for the insights on this. I wonder if anyone from our webinar today have any question or further intention to interact a bit, especially among our speakers. If we want to leave some question or message to each other in terms of any comments or further questions, also welcome to, I mean, leave the priority for our speaker guest to raise comments or questions to each other. Do you have any question on this? Let's say around the this session, probably our audience or the speaker. Oh, okay, please, Zheng Zong.
你
Please
好
go
，OK，
ahead.
we are looking for on behalf of our association and partners, we are looking into like robotics for oil palm, durian plantation, and premium crops or premium plantation. So, any provider of robotics, do get in touch with Steffi or myself. So we are looking into that currently. Thank you.
Thank you, Zheng Zong. Actually, it's a good reminder that after this session, we will keep posting every speaker's core point. So the opportunity you supply and the core information, or let's say the project pilot pathway to our potential, I mean, our network of the company members. So we will keep promoting this because the speaking time, the sharing session is limited, but our team assistants already record every speaker's core, the demand and supply highlight, and we will posting that and follow up with you and to recheck and confirm if our understanding is correct. So we'll keep promoting it and try to bridge more potential uh, product providers or let's say channel partners or or product solution designer, those different stakeholders, and hopefully the today our core insight can be well presented and circulate and kept pushing forward even after the meeting. So thanks for Zheng Zong your message to
谢谢。
hint to remind. Yes, and I think the time is quite long now already. So I would suggest if today we catch all the core points, we will finish this session and leave a potential the opportunity talk after the meeting. So once again, thank you for all our speakers for your insightful sharing session, valuable perspective. And we believe today's discussion not only review the practical paths for integrating IoT and robots solution and opportunity, but also outline a clear vision for what can we collaborate among the network, the community. So as the open platform, WAIA is committed to connecting more resource exchange and fostering project matching and industry win-win partnership, hopefully. So thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to see you the next webinar. Please contact me or our secretary team Yujia for further information and contact, or you want to get speakers PPT, the presentation material, we need to get their permission and then share to our audience. Hope it will be good time for everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Zheng Zong.
Bye.
Thanks, Dr. Sina. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Daniel. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.